What should I be trying to learn as a solo newbie in the game? We're gonna take this just for the duration of the beta. This is assuming that you have like no knowledge of the game. You've never played Dauntless or any of the other like Monster Hunter style games before, and this is your first time. First things first, I mean, start from this. Find a weapon or weapons that look coolest to you. And the best thing that exists so far right now is either you just being out in the wild and fighting the mobs, or the first beta did not have this, but this one does. So you can really like mess around with a lot of the different combos, see what different weapons do. As you can see, this is my first time actually stepping into it because I played the previous beta and it didn't have this. But yeah, stepping into the training area, you don't have to worry about any monsters like sneaking up on you or anything like that. This is just free reign to try all of the weapons. So, and they leave all of them available to you. So it's not like you see what shows up on the bottom of the screen. Let me move my webcam real quick. They're giving you base combos, right? This is just for dual blades. So just basic stuff for this weapon, and it's gonna give you base combos for like every single weapon that you pull out. Also, there's like a million different guides online just for like the weaponry. That's all for it. Just understanding the weapon or weapons you want to use. They give you all of them. Even in the full game, they give you like the most basic version of every weapon for you to go try. So it being in the beta, I'm just like freest way to try all of the weapons out, either in the training range. Once you feel like you got basic combos and stuff like that down, now it's time for you to come to the real world. You don't have to start off fighting all of like the main bosses. I'm gonna show you one of the best places to go. Literally just like right down here. All of these little mobs like this right here, free means of, practicing. Right, try all the combos that you just learned in the practice range. Get all this done. Right, this at least ups the combat efficiency. There's a couple of the small mobs like this that are actually gonna fight back. Teaches you how to move around the monster a little bit. Right, take some of those out. Lead you to the next part. Carving monsters. Right, or just gathering materials in general. A lot of this isn't too important right now because of the fact that like anything that I'm getting, any materials that I'm getting like this are not gonna matter. Raw meat will probably be the best option because you see up at the top, my health bar, the green and the yellow, you see the gray. If I were to pull a well done steak out, it gives me all of that gray health back. You can also do this back at base camp. If you prep a meal for yourself, it will also basically fix that for you without having to use any steaks or rations or anything like that. The best way to make the steaks are, where is it in the portable grill? You can technically do both of those here. Prep a meal for yourself. Shows you some of the stuff that you gain. You gain extra health, extra stamina. A couple of these ingredients that change give you different food skills and element resistances, which are very important. And then grilling meats. There's a song that helps you go along with what's going on. Obviously, you see I still need a little bit of work because the song has changed a little bit from game to game, but I get the base form. That's gonna help you with resource management in general. A lot of, stuff on the map like these Vital Lilies. If you're running low on potions and stuff like that, you could pop one of these. Oops, unequip that, my fault. Basically serve like a potion without actually having to use one. Taking advantage of the environment around you is also important. You know, being able to get health back, hiding in big bushes like this for cover, being able to use stones and stuff like that to try and get monsters' attention if necessary, and pulling stuff like herbs to get you more potions like what just showed up on the screen. So definitely being aware of the environment, or just not being afraid to play into the environment, right? Let's see if I can show. Right, we got all this area to work with. It's basically gonna encourage you to just explore and try stuff out, pick up everything that you can. Like I said, it's just a beta as well, so anything that you do end up picking up, I don't think is gonna transfer to the full game. But you know, just to get the reps in, just to understand the flow of the game. And then once you start to get a feel for that, you can start going on the bigger hunts, like fighting, you know, the Cobra, the Radars, going to fight them just for the sake of fighting them, and basically limit testing yourself. Checking all of what you learned, seeing how, you know, using dodge rolls and stuff like that to your advantage, understanding your weapon skills and stuff like that. And oh my God, okay. As you can see, he's looking at me. He's trying to, you know, he's basically sizing me up like, you trying to fight? What's good? I'm not trying to fight right now. I'm out here trying to help the people out. And you know, sometimes they won't always fight you. Some are more aggressive than others. They might attack you on sight, but you see some of those same small monsters that I was fighting earlier, you know, just like real life, they're animals, you know. They migrate and all type of stuff like that. So sometimes you could just leave them alone and let them have at it. Kill them if you want to get, you know, extra resources. But some of them are friendly. Some of them might just attack you on sight. It just depends on the area and what the monsters are. So I think that's the base like flow of learning the game. Learn your weapon. In Wilds, they let you hold 2 weapons. So maybe like learn 2. Or however many you feel like. I mean, the beta is pretty extensive. That's what I've been doing, learning weapons that I don't normally use. Then getting into the environment, practicing on small monsters that maybe don't fight back or do fight back, depending on how comfortable you are in your abilities. Walking around the map, exploring, picking up resources, stuff like that that you might need. And eventually just working your way up to the bigger monsters. Why are we fighting and harvesting the creatures? We don't have access to it now, but like in full game, you would be using these resources to craft better armor for your character, your Palico. I have no clue where my Palico. Where is he at? All right, well, I don't know where my cat went, but you're basically using them to make new armor for yourself, your cat. Sometimes you'd be able to sell it to make more money or use more points going out on expeditions and stuff like that. I literally don't know where he is. Like, he's not hanging out on my secret or anything. He's just, is he back at camp? Anyway, but yeah, we don't have access to it in the beta because they gave us like pre-made armor sets just for the sake of it being a beta. But when the full game releases, or any of the older Monster Hunters, you would be using a lot of the, you know, the herbivore shells that you might have seen me pick up from these monsters, or fighting the bigger mobs and killing them and, you know, skinning them. You would be using those parts for armor sets or weapon upgrades and stuff like that. But like I said, we don't have access to that in the beta because they just gave us base forms of every weapon and like 3 or 4 random armor sets to pull from. I don't even know if they actually have like defense values to it. It might purely be aesthetic. I don't remember. But full game, they would have a lot more use than we do right now, which is why I said, just for the sake of it being the beta and it not mattering for right now, just get used to, you know, killing mobs, killing big monsters, and getting used to skinning them, moving around with resources, even stuff like this, these bone piles right here. There may be certain weapon upgrades that might require these sturdy bones, the mystery bones that pick up. There might be like a full bone armor set that uses these as well, like all of that type of stuff. Collecting all of the 50 million items that the game is going to give you access to is because of stuff like this, the crafting list. Some items, when you craft them, I think there's a setting somewhere that lets you like auto craft it. So y'all saw when I picked the herbs up, it just automatically made potions. But ideally, you would be going to the crafting list and crafting potions, mega potions. A lot of these will give you the recipe for free, but there are some things that'll give you question marks like this that you won't know what it is until you have the materials for it and actually make it. Like, I'm pretty sure this shock trap would actually be fully invisible, but it would show you the required materials that you need to actually make it. Some stuff may show up like this, and it's just because you haven't even picked up the material while being out in the wild. But like I said, as you pick up the million things that this game gives you access to, eventually these will be filled up for you to be able to craft all types of stuff for your hunt. They don't aid in combat, only capture. Yes, me being a quote-unquote veteran Monster Hunter player, I just be feeling like it's a waste of a trap. But I mean, yes, it does have use. I don't even have any on me, so now we go back to actually pull some. Actually, there are some that just exist in the area. There are some like environmental traps that you can find around. The best example is this vine trap that I can, use my slinger and cut down. And then if one of the monsters run over it, obviously it'll be stuck in the ground. You can use that to actually capture the monster with the tranq bombs that don't exist in the beta right now. But sometimes you could just use it to like basically like stun lock the monster temporarily.
Oh, you on the ground?
Trap.
Oh, we like that.
I would normally hold my traps for when they're like near death, and then I'll throw the trap down and throw bombs to like capture the monster. But since we don't have access to that in the beta, they gave us traps with no tranq bombs. So it's kind of just like we're stunning the monster to do extra damage, and then it'll break out of the trap and go back to the normal like flow of a lot of the intended use for a lot of this stuff. Can't even really be done justice because the beta has kind of like taken certain stuff away for now. When the hunt ends and you capture it, you actually get more materials compared to you killing it. But at least I noticed in Monster Hunter World, there were certain parts that would only show up if you killed them versus only showed up if you captured them. So there is still like a back and forth between like capturing monsters versus killing them. There is a good reason for both. Like all of the parts that you get during the beta are going to basically reset once the actual game comes out. So that's the only reason why it's kind of just like counterintuitive for right now. But when the actual game drops, like, yes, there is an intended purpose, and it's very effective at that.